I think there's a radicalization, as Kelly was just mentioning, among some people there's a radicalization, partly because whether they're provocateurs or whether they're people who have always been against the system or against the Islamic Republic and would like to see a revolution. I don't think there's ever been a question about that. It's one of the reasons the government has an intensive intelligence ministry that conducts intensive investigations. But I think that they're still the minority. I think the interesting thing about this time versus 1979, there's a temptation for us to have that analogy always with Iran in 1979, is that this time it's really within the system. The very leaders of the Islamic Republic have kind of revolted, if you want to say, against the system or against what they perceive to be the wrong direction.
Which are the leaders that you're talking about?
Well, I'm talking about some of the grand ayatollahs who are very important, even if they're not in a governmental body, such as the Assembly of Experts, even if they're not, or the ones that are. And certainly Khatami, a former president, 8-year president, Mousavi, an 8-year prime minister, Afsanjani, a 2-term president, chairman of the Assembly of Experts. You're talking about some very, very important figures from the Islamic Revolution who are criticizing the government and the path that it's taken.
Does your experience as having acted as a translator for any of these folks give you added insight into how they might be processing this moment?
I would never claim to have any added insight. I can say that they're all very seasoned politicians, including Ahmadinejad. And I think the one thing that we should not forget in the West is that Ahmadinejad still does enjoy considerable support. I would not say that he enjoys a majority of the Iranian people's support. I have no idea what kind of support he has in terms of numbers or statistics. But it would be wrong to assume that Iranians do not like Ahmadinejad as a majority, 90% of the people. Whereas, in 1979, the Shah really had very, very little support by the time the revolution rolled around.